My damn street niggas need really comfortable with all the attention. I know what you're trying to say.
Do what you do, baby.
Yeah, I want congrats. I seen to come up through the mud. You feel me?
Real.
Yeah, I'm saying, like I said, I used to be top. I'm one of the ones. When that nigga said he had a phone, his whole joke, and I'm looking at the screen like preach, cause I was on the phone with him. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying?
I said, we Sean is 504. Y'all already know what's Sean. You heard me? It's P.NUT. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doing, you heard me? Hope everybody having a very tumultuous evening. And I hope everybody had a very tumultuous day so far, you know what I'm saying? It's 504, so you already know how it go. Y'all already know what type of day it is, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't trip, my co-host is running a little late, but she gonna be here in a couple of ticks, you understand me? But we're gonna get to the guest. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, you heard me? Because it's her story. So without no further ado,
What's up?
there we go.
Hey,
What's sound with it? You heard me? You want formally introduce yourself to the viewers, you heard me?
hey, always girl, Big Yo Yo, the Queen of Lit. I'm a music artist and promoter in Arkansas.
And they like that. So you got Queen of Lit, you heard me? Does that mean something, you know what I'm saying? Do you just be turning up, you know what I'm saying? What does, I know your name, but what does Queen of Lit mean after that, you heard me?
Listen, anytime, any day, any place, you give me some music. Really, I don't even need the music. I'm gonna turn you up. Like anything lit, I can do. The term originally came after I started hosting and promoting parties. Like I know there are a lot of party hosts out there, but I'm one of those hosts. I can carry an entire show and not hold a microphone.
You hear me? Yes.
Like
So is
it,
that how you got introduced to this music shit?
I, I couldn't hear you say that again.
I said that how you had got introduced to the entertainment world of music shit, you know what I'm saying? You came in the game as a promoter.
Actually, that was my second title. I started out in entertainment. I was managing artists. Never thought about being on stage. Never thought about hosting. But of course, being out with my artists, like the Queen of Lit is not just a job for me. Like that's really my life. I wake up on 10. A real vibe. Always been, a person who worked hard but also played hard. So while being out with my artists at shows, people started inviting me to host because I don't know how else to put it. Even if I'm not the host and it's not my party, it's gonna be my party. So I went
Yeah,
from artist to hosting and promoting. That took off for me, and it was actually the artist I was managing that encouraged me to get in the booth and get, in the music, like tell my story and just get out there.
thanks. And it's like that, you know what I'm saying? So let's take it back to all began, you know what I'm saying? Now, you from Camden, Arizona. My bad, let me put some respect on y'all name, you heard me? Camden,
Art
Arizona, you know what I'm saying? But you moved to Little Rock, Arkansas.
It's Arkansas. I'm right above you.
Right. So
Yeah.
where you jumped off the porch at, you know what I'm saying? You jumped off the porch in Camden or you jumped off the porch in Little Rock?
Uh, I would say my official jump off the porch was in Camden, and then I moved to Little Rock, and then from there, like I'm not a regional promoter. Like a lot of people ask me what area I work with, the same question you're asking, and really I took on Arkansas all at the same time. Like I literally hit the ground running, and I was doing shows, 2 shows a week, sometimes three in three different cities. Like I did it all at once.
Queen of the Lit for real,
For
for real.
real.
So I co-host Mia into the building. What's down, Mia? You heard me?
Hey,
Hey, beautiful.
hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good, good. I'm glad we got a chance to get with you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've been in our prayers.
Thank so much.
You want to introduce yourself right quick, Neil?
Well, yes, we briefly discussed, we met in our
No,
inbox chat.
no, to the viewers.
So no, I'm Mia and I host Conversation and Clarity. It's me and Monique, which is a podcast that, we talk about different things like, stuff in our culture, stuff in the Black community. And I'm just glad to be here to learn more about you and to ask you some questions. And of course, introduce you to my audience as well. So, I'm excited to just interview you and see what your future plans are and, get to know you.
Well, thank you
So,
for
me, like
coming on.
Mia has a podcast also, and she just relaunched it earlier this week. Mia, what made this week or this time the time to relaunch your podcast? You heard me?
I didn't have a specific time. I like to go with, the flow of things and listening to the energy of life and the Holy Spirit. And since I've been conversing with you, Peanut, I just feel like, you know what? I shouldn't. I feel like, it's just time. Our interview went really good and I've been on a hiatus. I kind of lost my feel for it, I think. I don't know. It just wasn't, the spark wasn't there. But a couple of interviews that I saw you do, especially with a young man that's, accused for that crime in Alabama. And then what you're doing with the elders. I'm like, you know what? It's so much to do. That was my passion, talking to the community, making sure that I'm a voice for the community in a positive light. And I feel like, connecting with you and watching you go just gave me the motivation. Like, you know what? I'm about to get back to it. So it's perfect. Perfect timing.
Thank you. I ain't know it was all that here. Thank you. I appreciate it. You hear me? You so we my bad. It's the gas. So we started off, you know what I'm saying? She from Camden. She moved to Arizona, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to pick up from that, do you have any questions for her?
I do. So you are independent. Is that correct?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm a one woman team from start to finish.
So how is the music scene where you are?
The music scene is very rich and diverse, believe it or not. Like, Arkansas we get so much here. We're like literally in the middle of the US and we get a lot of different influences in our music from different places. And as a result of that, the artistry here is all over the place.
Hmm.
There's a lot of dope talent here. Arkansas is very, very slept on. Very slept on.
Well, first of all, I love your sound and your music is amazing. It definitely has some good catching to it. Now, do you do your own writing?
I do. I do.
Okay.
That's one thing about me. I mean, people use ghostwriters. I really don't have an opinion, either way. But for me, like, this is really my way of telling my story and my feelings. And the best way for me to do that is to use my own words. It's been a challenge to, be able to turn my stories into songs. But the more I go on, the easier it gets. And I'm in love. Like, 100% of what I say is real.
That's right. That's
If
right.
you want to
So
know, listen to my music.
absolutely, it's definitely lit. Can you share the inspiration behind the stage name?
Well, Big Yo Yo, well, to begin with, my nickname's always been Yo Yo. Real name Yolanda, so Yo Yo, Yo. And before I even started entertainment, I was one of those people who was known around town. Like, people knew who I was, and I got the nickname Big Yo Yo. So whenever I started doing entertainment, and I was asked, I'm like, I'm just Big Yo Yo. That's big. And the
No,
Now,
queen
no.
came as people started. And I started to host and stuff like that. I'm lit all the time. Like, it's me. It's in me.
so you're the queen of lit. Don't
Yeah.
don't leave off the queen of lit. That's a big name. So how would you describe your sound to someone who hasn't heard your music?
um, right now my sound is really all over the place. I touch R&B a little bit. I do have an R&B song out. I do a lot of I do more rapping than I do singing, but the sound for rap comes from everywhere. I get a lot of Texas influence, some from Atlanta. Like it, it's. I really can't point you in the direction of a sound that just sounds just like me. Like
Mhm.
it's a mashup, and you just gotta listen.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay. So, are there any local artists or any artist that has influenced your work?
Most definitely. My probably biggest influence and also support comes from two or three artists. One is Demi Savage. She can rap and sing. She's actually from Louisiana but living in Arkansas, and she's, oh my God, she's amazing. My brother Prince Kanji. Without him there'd be no Queen of Lit. Like there'd be no music. There'd be nothing. Um, and then there's this guy Backwood. He goes back and forth in the music. He is young. He's very talented. Um, like I can't wait for him to really see the vision and get on track. Like they're all amazing.
Nice, nice. Well, you
So
have a nice voice.
jump in. Let me jump in right quick. You spoke so highly of that support system. You heard me. Can you speak on the importance of that support system and how that support system support with the system? You heard me.
Most definitely. Man, a support system, especially really not even just in entertainment, but in life, period, is important. And, number one, I lead with God first, and I know that He brings people into my life for, and these people that I named, and there are a few others like my producer, Kush Tracks, and just really a number of people. I have a very large support system. Like they believed and saw in me something that I didn't even see. I mean, my start was putting other people on stage. I never even wanted to be the face of anything. So like really without me having that support, I wouldn't be doing anything. And then like as far as taking off as a promoter, I was in it for maybe a year and a half before they started calling me one of the top promoters in the state, the hottest promoter in the state. And it's all from support. Without people supporting me, I wouldn't have those big events, that big audience.
Yeah,
Go
nice.
ahead, Mia. Go ahead, Mia.
Okay.
Yeah. They've definitely built my confidence. They had a confidence in me before me. I did it. Like you'll hear me talk about them a lot, especially Prince Ken. Like with literally without him, there'd be no me. There were times I was ready to run out the building when it was time for me to go on stage and everything. Like, get in there. You got something. Just do you. Just do you. And yeah, here I am. Without me, I love being on stage.
Yes, I've seen some of your performances on your YouTube. Very, very into the crowd. The crowd seems to be feeling you a lot. What
Yeah.
are some of well, how do you balance your creative process with the business side since you're independent? Like how do you stay on top of things? What's your like blueprint for your business, for your brand?
Um, as far as blueprint, I'm really still figuring out the blueprint, but basically, I've just arranged my life on Thursday through Saturday or maybe Sunday. I'm the host. I'm performing. I'm the artist. I'm in that mode. And then Monday through Thursday, I'm at home. Arranging security, arranging DJs, working on music in the studio. I'm writing. Like I'm lucky to work for myself in all of my businesses, so I get to pretty much set my schedule to whatever it is. Um, but that's if I have any hard thing, that's just dividing my time and making myself, focus on getting paperwork done, getting everything set up, getting the business behind the music done.
Nice,
And
nice.
then on the weekend, it's up. It's time to party.
Now, you share with me about some hardships that you had, and it really changed your life around for the better. How do you use your testimony to inspire young women like yourself who may have gotten into trouble in their past, but changed their life and went the straight and narrow path, but still wanted to be creative and enjoy their life?
My what I'd have to say to anybody who's faced any type of challenge, whether it was legal or abuse or just anything, because it's really you name it, I've been through it. Is to keep God first and just don't give up. I was in prison for 2.5 years and getting out, like it was depressing. I was easily defeated in the situation because it was so hard to find work and just reestablish myself after being gone for so long. But I mean, I didn't give up hope. I started out working a regular job and like basically just put in a plan because I made the newspaper and the news for some bad things, and it was one of my goals coming out to to make the news for something good. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I said that like I'm gonna be in somebody's newspaper on somebody's TV or something, doing something positive, changing it. And I just followed that and I didn't let anything stop me. I had a lot of people trying to pull me back into the old life. A lot of people saying, "Oh, well, with 4 Class B felonies, there's nothing you're gonna be able to do." And my background before prison was in management, in finance, and things like that. And of course, with certain charges, they're just not gonna let you back in. So I didn't take no for an answer, and I kept on knocking on doors until I found the one for me. And that's really what you have to do. Like it is possible to change your life after prison. It's possible to be happy. It's possible to be successful. It's possible to do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
It
That is
is. Really is. It really is. You know what I'm saying? So let me jump in right quick, you know what I'm saying? And let's get into time right before you caught the jokes, you know what I'm saying? What type of time was you on? Your mental, your mind frame, you know what I'm saying? And did they like come like was it like a or like did they come kick your door and like did you know they were watching you? Like what type of time you was on before you got the charge that led into the charge, you heard me?
The type of timing I was on, let's see. The bases are I had been married for 10 years. I was recently separated. My ex-husband made over $100,000 a year. And I have to be careful how I say some of this because I still have a little brother in prison that we're trying to get out in relation
Well, all
to.
right, we ain't gonna talk about it then.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about it
Well,
then.
I mean, I can tell you, I can, I
I
there,
don't like
I
talking
can tell
about no open charges, you heard? I don't like doing
you,
that, you heard?
like basically I was on demon time, and like it was whatever I could do to still like provide that lifestyle for me and my kids that I was accustomed to for all that time I was doing. And I mean, one thing led to another. Certain things made the news and they started watching. And long story short, somebody got caught on something petty and decided to throw me out there because I was the bigger fish and they went out.
mm,
Bitch ass nigga, like that's
Yeah. And like
moving
it
right along. We
was,
ain't gonna even give him the time of day to shine and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, right? Did you come up hard, like coming up in Camden, Arizona? You know what I'm saying? In
it's
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
How it is out there? Is it country? Y'all thugging? Is it crazy out there? Y'all be chilling? You know what I'm saying? How is it coming up out there? You know what I'm saying? For your experience, a young lady, you heard me, coming up in Camden, you heard me.
Camden's a country place. It's a place where everybody knows everybody. Camden, for the most part, it's a hustling town. Like it breeds, it's bred a lot of hustlers. And like my time here, because I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, whenever I was 10. So I kind of split. I was born in Camden, halfway raised in Little Rock,
Why you?
but
What was the reason for the move?
my mom got married and we left from camp, went to Little Rock. She had a better job there. She was in school. Her husband at the time, his job was located there, so we just made the move. One of those places where it's a nice place to be, but there's not much opportunity here, and a lot of people, usually end up leaving during that time where everybody was just leaving here. So I was about 10 or 11 whenever Little Rock, and that really changed the game for me. But I really feel like being brought up in both places, it made me an even better person because I know the rules to the street, but I also know how to be cordial and act in public and handle myself and, not let the next person know what's going on if they don't need to know.
Yeah. So Big Yo Yo, not the little, right?
I
You a rapper, not the little. I gotta put some respect on your name. You understand me? You're a rapper, you know what I'm saying? You're a promoter, you heard me? You was a manager, right? Was
yeah.
all this in the plan initially? Because I heard you say you started off in the business world, the suit and tie. You understand? Yeah. So how did the suit and tie turn into Big Yo Yo, not the little one?
Um, my my start in management, I'm gonna say this for every single step and each transition, it's been a God thing. Me even managing artists was just me. It started out with me hanging around, listening to people like, hey, if you go to the studio and do this and we put you out here, you could probably be getting paid for this. And like, so I was working a regular job. I started taking, my artists to the studio and finding out shows. I went and sat down with D Dirt, Barack Obama with the underground radio in Little Rock, and had a straight up talk like, hey, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. I need you to tell me everything. And when I tell you that man passed along the game and the sauce, he did that. And I went on from there, like teaching my artists how to register, um, to as a songwriter and be able to get paid off streams and views and just basically did my homework and I was one of the top people. Like I had so many people wanting me to manage them. I was having to turn people away because I just didn't have time. And
Watch out. Watch out.
yeah, like I can't.
Watch
I
out.
love to.
Step on, man. Step on.
I love to, I can't. And so, okay, so I'm with my artists. We've gone to the studio. We've handled the business. Now we're doing shows and we're out. Like I'm not one of those managers that's just like, okay, we'll be here. Like I'm very hands on. So I was there making sure my artists were treated right, making sure they were acting appropriately, everything was going cool. But at the same time, turning up because I'm sorry, you give me a DJ and I'm gonna dance. Like it's gonna happen. So, in the midst of being out with them, they started asking me to host different things, and like it went from hosting other people's events to I can do this for myself and my artists. Like I can rent out the venue, I can get the DJ, and then this way, because so many artists spend so many years like performing for free, I was trying to find a quick way to get my artists paid without them having to run in circles and wait. That's how I started promoting, and it took on, it took off, and then it was like I was promoting like a couple years, and then I had those artists like all individually because I would be in the studio with them, and sometimes they may have trouble finishing a bar or something like that, or like just figuring out how things sound, and I was good at doing that. So they're like, "Hey, why don't you try doing this yourself? Like, just try making a theme song." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't make music. Like, I can't make a song. That's not
Down yourself.
y'all are supposed to be on stage. Y'all are tripping."
Down
And
yourself. Why you be down? Why you down? Why you be doing that? Why you be doing that?
I don't at this point I don't even know. Like it just wasn't in the cards for me. Like I never saw it. Like what everybody else saw, it took me a while to see. Um but I got into writing I'm Who They Want, and that's actually the theme song for my shows. Like and doing that and then traveling and getting people's response, I was like, okay, well, maybe I do have something musically. And just over time, I started writing more music. I planned a project. I started releasing stuff, and now I'm doing more performing than actually hosting events. And my music's taking off. One of my latest releases, Japan has grabbed a hold of, and it's going crazy on TikTok with like anime and stuff like that.
Nice, nice,
It's
nice.
it's it's been a crazy, crazy ride, but doubting myself, that's probably the number one thing that people tell me not to do. But I'm a perfectionist and I got to see it before I do it. And honestly, like I had to travel 5-6 hours away and perform my song and have people go crazy for me to say, okay, maybe I'm good. But ever since that day, I've been on fire. You can't stop me.
But it's kind of ironic, and Mia, I'm gonna let you jump in after this. You bring that to so many people, but you don't see it in yourself. How did you how did you come to seeing that in yourself? You know what I mean?
Jumping on stage to the crowd, like seeing a crowd turn up, like walking into a place where nobody knows me for parties or doing anything, getting on stage, performing, and then having them yell my name from across the room, across the parking lot when I'm leaving, having people jump on stage with me, like that was the okay. Yeah, I got this. Like I really got something. Like people need to see this. I need to keep doing this. But that's what definitely the confidence and just the doubts all went away. Like because your friends and people around you, they can tell you anything. And like I trusted the people around me, but I'm like, man, y'all could be lying. Like y'all could be just liking me because it's me. But
Yeah, trying to
going
buck my
out,
head up and all that.
yeah, but going out in front of crowds where nobody knew me for anything and then responding that way, oh yeah, I got to keep doing this.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Go ahead, Mia.
So I have a question about you. You mentioned that you were married for 10 years.
Yes.
How has your relationship or experience with a divorce shape your views on relationships, and how do you convey that message through your music?
I'm a lover girl. My marriage, even though it ended, you really won't ever. I really don't have a bad thing to say about it. I was 18 and he was 20 whenever we got married. We were 28 and 30, and I'm sure everybody knows. Like if you've reached that 30 mark, you're not the same person that you are when you were 18. Um, as far as anything from that shaping me, I don't have a negative thing. I really hope to get married one day. My relationships have been crazy since then. Like that's a whole nother story. I've had somebody try and kill me before, like literally. Um, but really the only thing that I have from it is I'm probably harder on guys because of my ex-husband. Even though we didn't work out, he was a really good man and he treated me very well. He was a great dad. Like he was good. He just wasn't my match. And that's really what I know now. Like some people, you can be two good people, but like if it's not your person, it's not your person. That doesn't make them bad. Or, you should hate them if it doesn't work out. It just means it didn't work out. There's somebody.
Right. So as you evolve and as you become, this superstar artist, because I'm definitely feeling
Thank
the
you, Mia.
vibe and the
I
energy.
feels what you saying that.
Literally, how do you maintain your independence and self-worth after going through all these challenging experiences and still being such a powerful, even sharing your being transparent about the insecurities that you may have faced with the self-doubt, but still in behind that and forward to now where you just have the vibe and the energy and what you bring. How do you maintain that? How do you balance all of that?
Like God first. Like literally I wake up, praise and worship, and then I just tackle each day for, what it is. And as far as balancing everything, honestly don't know how I do it. That's a good question. Like
God,
All right, let me
good
stop you right
answer.
there. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. You hear me?
I just
Does
do
life
it.
get in the way of does real life get in the way of the entertainment? Does the entertainment get in the way of the real life? Does it
It
all fall
does.
into?
It does. One challenge that I started off facing, and I still get into it every now and then, is balancing myself because, I mean, I am a mom. I'm a full time mom, and my ex husband share custody, and so like I'm a mom first, but just the time and the traveling really gets hard because I'm gone every weekend, and usually, that's free time for friends, family, kids, and stuff like that. So I've had to figure out ways to organize my time, because for a minute, really, for this last month, I haven't taken a break in 3 years. Every weekend, I was gone to at least different cities outside of where I was staying, and it's rough. So now I'm in a period, I guess, of trying to find that balance and figure out the exact answer of how do I do it. How do I do that? And then I'm coming into the issue where people, I feel like people forget that I'm a real person.
Mhm.
Like I'm facing that right now. Like even people who have known me kind of, and it's not treat me in a bad way, but like I'm really everybody's homegirl. Like I'm cool. I'm laid back. If I love you, I love you. If you were ever my friend, I don't care if we ain't talked in 10 years. When I see you, it's up.
That's
And
right.
it's like people think, if you're doing certain things that like you're not the same person. So uh I just moved back to Camden a couple months ago, and like just being out every day around people, like it's humbling, but sometimes it's weird and sometimes it's frustrating, because sometimes I just want to be me and like,
Mhm.
go to the grocery store with my pajamas on or something. Like, I mean, I never do that, but I'd like to. I'd like to be able to date and it not be such a big deal. Like that's probably the most thing that I have issues with now is dating. Now that I'm in entertainment, I'm really, it's a hard thing to do. And I'm still
Mhm.
trying to figure it out, because you never know who's really meeting somebody new at this point, even though I'm still on my way up. Some people just want to date me to say they don't really want to date me, if that makes sense. And then just finding time for people is really, really hard. Like I'm usually working kids, working kids, working kids. My work is just turning up, so you know.
Fake,
So,
fakes.
so tell us
So
about some collaborations you might want to do with some of your favorite artists, or do you aspire to do things like that, or do you just want to be like a one woman show?
I would love to collab, like, and I've said this from the start. Like I was in Memphis whenever Glow really started going off, and I was up there, and like every time the song came on, the people in the streets were going. This was long before, like, FNF really caught on, and she really started popping, and like her story plus her music, like I would absolutely die if I got to work with her. Like I would love to flow. Of course, like female rap idols like Nicki, Megan, any of the top females I love to. Like I love female rappers. Um,
Yes.
and then my absolute idol and goal, if me and Beyonce could work out something, I'd be happy. I'd not need to do anything else.
So
My life
that's what
would
I'm
be
talking about.
complete.
it's all
So
good.
how do
Yeah.
you feel? TikTok, it is really big for artists, and it makes them, I mean, viral sensations. You see Florida, that
Yeah.
everybody doing the dances. So what do you feel like with how do you feel about TikTok? And I know you said that you're doing really well over there, especially in Japan or China. Was it Japan?
Japan. Yeah.
Japan. But we now my mind is turning, and I'm thinking like, okay, so we gotta get you working with Glow and that TikTok craze. So make sure you plug yourself so you let everybody know where we can follow you at on TikTok, and tell us what how you feel about TikTok, and how it has helped you as an artist gain.
I just recently started kind of focusing on TikTok. I'm trying to do better getting there. I think it is definitely one of the fast tracks to getting heard and getting your music out there, especially if you have something catchy to go with. I mean, I feel like any platform that gives an artist that much creative control to just, click a button and now it's out there to everything is great. And I'm actually, gonna start utilizing it more. But I'm yo-yo on everything. Instagram, Facebook,
Got
TikTok,
real.
X, YouTube, like Big Yo-Yo. That's me. It's only one. Like,
So let me ask you this, Big Yo, you know what I'm saying? Let's get to the 2.5, right? You wasn't in no trouble with, well, you ain't get caught for nothing before that, right? Then the
no, no,
two
no,
and then
that
the
was
two.
my. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Then boom, 2.5, right? How did that you caught that or you signed for that?
I signed for that. I had never been in any trouble before, and I went from. I mean, not even a speeding ticket. Like when I say I had no interactions with the law before this, none. And I went overnight from nothing to 64 class B felony charges. I fought for 2 years back and forth in court because they were only offering me 40 to the door. That was the lowest number they. But long story short, I got an attorney to fight pretty much everything that he possibly could have. They had me dead to rights on, owning a vehicle that was used in several situations. And they were gonna max me out and make me do 10 to the door. It
Mm,
was signed for 4 charges and get 10, but still be eligible for good behavior. That's how I got out in 2.5.
mm.
But
What was
yeah, I most definitely
who,
here
what was
for.
going through your mind when you signed for that time?
How am I gonna do this? Because mind you, like I was raised, I was raised knowing the game, but I wasn't. I was in the streets, but I wasn't in the streets. Like I was spectating and kind of dibbling and dabbling, but going into prison, like I knew I'm not gonna be able to get up when I want to. I can't use the phone. Like I'm not gonna see you. Like I wigged. Like and then leaving my kids
Yeah.
it was hard. And my grandparents raised me, and all the years my grandmother lived, and she just passed a few months ago. God rest her soul. Like that was the only time in my life I saw her cry was the day I went to go sign for myself and sign my time and turn myself in, and it just it it really shook me at first, but after a while, like I knew that they couldn't hold me forever, and that was the one thing that I held on to. Like I'm not here forever, so I just started figuring out why am I even in here? Yes, I know I caught charges, but I mean, I'm a believer, so I feel like there's a reason for everything. And I just
Mm,
started focusing on that and focusing on what I was gonna do when I got out, and like did everything possible to be able to get out early. Like I walked in there saying, they told me I was gonna do at least 5. Like I wasn't coming home in less than 5, and I'm like,
mm,
nah, there's a way out of this. So I started doing programs, doing everything I could to get out of there as soon as possible. Like it was really a focus thing and a mind over matter situation because prison is not like jail. And I tell people that all the time. It's a totally different place. Like you are
yeah.
nobody in there. You are a number. That is it. And barely even that. That number doesn't come with any rights at all. Like if you don't have a strong mind, you're not gonna make it. And I just I just knew that and I powered through. I prayed every day and worked my hardest to get on the other side of the gates. Like it humbled me a lot because I was used to going off and snapping when I wanted to and being talked to a certain way. And I knew if I responded to disrespect in there like I did outside, like that's more time added on. This ain't
Right.
like county where you can get into a fight and they still gonna let you out on bond. Nah.
Uh,
They adding a couple months, if not years. You
yeah.
turn up like that in here.
Hell yeah.
So
Getting the points.
it it definitely it helped my drive and it helped my focus. Like it was a bad experience, but as far as driving focus, I wouldn't be who I am without that. I know if I can make it through 2.5 years of prison with no jail experience, I can make it through anything.
Hmm.
Big yo, not the little one, huh?
Not the little one. In all aspects, like
So
I'm
how did you attack the streets and the entertainment differently than when you did before you had went in for your juice when you got out, you heard me?
um when I first got out, I was kind of quiet. I was kind of quiet, and it just slowly evolved. But as far as getting them with me, it really just happened naturally because a lot of people already knew. Like I say, most people get into entertainment to try and make a name for themselves in their town or their city or their state. I already had one for good and bad reasons. And the same approach that I took to doing other things that I was doing, I applied that principle to doing parties, to doing shows, to doing music, and it's worked out perfectly. And that's something that I preach to a lot of young people and like a lot of people period who are still in the game. Like that same mentality on getting this and flipping that and doing this, like if you apply that to some skill or hobby or gift you have, like you'll go crazy. You'll go
Yeah.
crazy. It's the same thing. The basic principles are the same thing. I need to have something that people want to pay for.
Right.
See, take us through your first week and your last week.
Say that again.
Take us through your first week and your last week.
First week of
The first weekend and then your last week.
in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, my first week was horrible. Like I was in a total culture shock. Like I say, like I was in the streets, but not in the streets. Like my family, we were in church all the time. Like I was sheltered in a lot of ways, but I had uncles who taught me ways. That's how I knew both sides. So going in, I'm walking in. First thing is boom, strip naked, room full of 5 other people, bend over, off until your butthole wings. Like what? Excuse me? Like what is going on? Like that first week, it was just in shock, and then being woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go eat breakfast. You can't do this without asking. Like I was ready to cry, and like I was really really lost. That first week in prison, like seeing people mad. My first week there, I seen somebody put something in somebody's trunk, like to purposely, because they were about to go home, like purposely did something to extend their visit. Like they got approved for parole and everything, but then caught a charge inside and had to stay like 6 more months. And that's when I was like, okay, hold on, yo, you got to grab a hold of your emotions. You got to get it together. Like this is just like being out in the streets, if not worse. Like pull yourself together. By the end of it, I had accepted my time and really was just walking. Like I didn't do the parole process. My release was a surprise early release into a reentry program. And so I had no clue. I was a counselor in a program, just I mean, waking up doing my time. Like I didn't really have the issues with, being homesick and stuff anymore. I was grounded, head on straight, just focused on getting through these next 2 years of prison because I still had 2 more years. And I got woke up at 4:30 in the morning. They told me to pack up, and I left everything. I didn't take nothing. Let me out. Out, got good. I told y'all when I came in here, I wasn't staying 5 years, and look at me now. Like I ran, but the adjustment from leaving prison to getting back into the free world and getting back into life, like I thought I escaped um with no issues and no institutionalism, but in all honesty, like the only thing that I had to work on was realizing that I had power and control again. Because for 2.5 years, I didn't have power over anything. Not when I went to bed, not when I ate, not when I talked to my kids, not when I spoke a word. Like if it was after a certain time, you couldn't even talk. So coming back out and jumping back into a job, my first job, I remember my manager telling me, like, you don't have to ask me to do everything. Like, just do what you're supposed to do. Like, you're gonna be okay. Um, and I probably dealt with that and just the shock of being out and being free for about a week, and then it was back to business. I had to regroup. Like I went in pretty straight on money, had my own house, own cars, like planning to travel when I wanted to, and I came out with nothing. So really, that whole first year and a half, it was just work, 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 work. Like it may not seem like a lot, but in 6 months, I ran up 70 bands on a time clock. Like just trying to get back.
Nice.
Go ahead, Mia.
So I commend you for being so strong because listen, I did 48 hours in the county jail and I thought I was going to die. That cough and all that stuff that you talk about, and they gave me a Kool-Aid cup, a Kool-Aid, a cup, and a little fork. And I literally I couldn't. I don't even know how anybody can do 2 years, 2 days, let alone 2 years. So that is a testimony to your strength, like you said. And a lot, I hear a lot of myself in your story. Like I was raised by my grandparents at the age of 11 because my mom lost custody of us. And then I had uncles. So I have four uncles. So I kind of was sheltered too. Like my uncles taught me all kinds of stuff that probably the girls my age shouldn't know. Like I knew how to drive early, couldn't no dude run nothing over on me. They showed me everything. But I had to realize that also that those things that they showed me kind of like shaped my idea about men. And that kind of one day I was sitting and I was like, you know what? Who was the example of men in my life? And it was my uncle. And they was all, messing around with different women. They was doing all things. And I think I learned indirectly my own self-worth. And that's what's got me into some tough situations, as a young woman. And now that I'm older, I recognize those things. So hearing you speak, it seems like you've made the revelation that, you have to know your worth. You have to, balance life, motherhood. And what it sounds like you learned is leadership in prison, even because you got out early, you were running the program, and now you're managing people and you're an independent artist. So with your leadership and your background, everything coming full circle,
Yeah.
what do you see for the future of you and your business, your management company, your brand, everything that you're doing? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself selling out somebody's stadium. Like, in all honesty, me being an artist, there may be other things that I still do. I mean, I'm a hustler at heart. I gotta have more than one income in my life to even feel comfortable or sleep good at night. But I feel like music is really it's my way to the next level. And like I never see a cap in anything. Like people have asked me, what's gonna be making it? Is it gonna be signing? Is it gonna be a certain amount of money? And really, like, I have no top, but definitely in 5 years, I'm selling out stadiums. And instead of, just Arkansas knowing my name, the world's gonna know my name.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Well,
Yeah,
I am a
my
fan already.
I didn't really, well, I kind of hit on it, but following prison, I got into a relationship with a guy, and I was with him for 3 years. And first 2 years it was perfect. Last year, I spent like literally fighting for my life. Uh, he literally almost killed me. Like I've had to have surgery behind the attack and some more things. But my point of the situation is that situation, like prison, like it broke me. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I wasn't happy with who I was with. Like through the process of healing from that and then healing from prison, like I though I don't know if it makes sense, but those bad things are what gives me my and it gives me my drive. Like I'll never be that girl again. I'm never gonna be the girl behind bars that's just a number and doesn't have any say in anything. And I'm not gonna be the girl who's getting pushed around at home. Like, I'm gonna be the fun, happy person that I am, and I'm gonna make other people happy, and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna raise my kids and just live my life. And like the stage is definitely a part of my life. I'm never gonna stop doing it.
I love it. I love it. So this is Women's Week, and we're closing out the wonderful job that Peanut's done to salute the women, and we're dedicating this show to Anya Massey. And violence against women, especially Black women, is really a problem that we face in our community. So, what advice would you give someone who's currently dealing with a toxic relationship right now, considering your experience? And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. I too have been a victim of domestic violence, and it's definitely something that really robs you of so much. So, what advice would you give someone currently dealing with a toxic relationship?
Get out. Like, it's not gonna change. They're not gonna get better. The situation is not gonna get better, especially if it's gotten to the violent part, or even emotional abuse. Like 9 times out of 10, people who do things like that, they're not gonna change. They're only gonna get worse. And just just get out, find somebody to confide in, make a plan, and get out while you can, because I mean, you never know, like, when that one time, may end your life. Like, people think, being toxic now is cool and is the way to go, but really that damages people. And like any woman, man going through any type of abuse needs to know that they're worth it, they're loved. Like, you love shouldn't hurt. Like, and if it's hurting, get away. Get
Yes.
away. That is not the love you want.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like Mia said, this is Women's Week 9. And from you, Joseph, you know what I'm saying? You did a little time. Won't you speak for the incarcerated women? You know what I'm saying? How are how are they treated in our new home? My bad, we put some respect on your freedom. You know what I'm saying? How are them? My bad, I did it again. How are they treated in the? Is it anything that you would want to bring awareness to? Is it any shout outs that you want to shout out, or advice that you want to give somebody that's going through that situation, or maybe about to go through that situation, or just came home, just like you, you know what I'm saying? Won't you speak for the incarcerated ladies for Women's Week 9? You know
For the women who are incarcerated, just keep your head on straight. Don't let the time do you. Focus on the plan. If you don't have a life sentence, then one day you're stepping out, and spend that time that you're having to sit there planning for what's next, because there is a what's next. It's so hard to be defeated and to think, there's gonna be nothing after this, or it's hopeless. But really, like, being able to being able to sit there and plan out your next moves for a couple years, that's really a big play if you use your time right. So just don't give up. As far as anything that I want to bring awareness to, the one thing about prison that's always stuck with me, and I want to figure out a way to change it, is women who go in pregnant in the prison. Literally, like, they can't get any pain meds whenever they're delivering. So first of all, like, I feel like that's cruel and unusual. They have less than 8 hours with their baby before they're taken from the hospital back to the prison, separated from the baby. No bonding time, and this is whether they're gonna get out in 3 months or 10 years. And like, they come back, and for a woman who's giving childbirth, like, from the start of it to even a week or so afterwards, there's certain medications you need. You're uncomfortable, you're in pain, like, all they give them is Tylenol and tell them to go on about their business. And like, there are women who are going through postpartum depression in there, and there's no therapy when you're in prison. And like, there's no help for them. And like, I don't understand how Arkansas and other states who are like this are getting away with the way that they treat a mother who has a child in prison. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
take us out, Mia.
So we want to thank you for joining us and allowing us to talk to you. I would like to for you to share your social media platforms. Again, you said it's big yo yo and everywhere, but let everybody know where they can find you. And then after you tell them that, I'll ask my last question.
Okay. You can find me, Big Yo Yo, Queen of Lit, on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Big Yo Yo, on all music platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Um, Even, when you're making stories and videos on the different social media networks, I'm everywhere. Just put in Big Yo-Yo, and it's gonna be me.
What's up? That's what's up. So now, what upcoming projects or collaborations can we expect from you, and what can what do you have? Are you excited about? What are your next collaborations that you're excited about, or any upcoming projects? And what can the fans expect next from you?
Next, I have a lot of music out there, but I'm going into a period of making videos for everything, like official visuals for all of that. So I'm excited about that. I have a new song dropping called She's Bad in a week, and I'm super excited about it. It's a twerk song, like it's a girl empowerment. Like everybody's gonna be able to turn up to it. Like I'm super excited. But I'm also working on a 5-song project that I'm gonna release a little bit later this year. Going a little bit deeper into kind of feelings and emotions. Cause so far, I played around on the surface, but I'm about to get deep.
Nice, nice. Do you know how to twerk?
I do. I started. I can twerk and I can dance. I started dance classes when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I was a cheerleader on dance team in school. Like I've always been a dancer. Like I will say that performing is been in me. It's just the music part of it I didn't see, but I love to dance. Like it's my favorite thing to do.
Okay, I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch your journey. And you definitely got a fan. Definitely going to follow all your platforms so I can support you. And I have a nice following on my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. I ain't got that many, but I'm working on it. But I definitely gonna steal some of your music. So when I'm out for this She's Bad song, so I can twerk along with you. So we can start the dance challenge.
I got you. See, yeah,
Okay.
it's coming. It's coming.
You can
Like
count.
I
How
thank
y'all
y'all.
going? How we gonna end up? I can't end the show on no twerk shit, man. Nah.
We the women.
Let's stay for 5 more minutes now. Something, you know what I mean? So how is everybody doing today? Mia, I enjoyed you. You know what I'm saying? Good luck with your relaunch. You heard me on your podcast and your endeavors. And Big you're not the little one. You know what I'm saying? Like Mia said, you heard me. I'm interested in your future. You know what I'm saying? To see where you gonna go. And Big you gonna get any bigger. You know what I'm saying? We all rooting for you down here in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? They rooting for you where Mia at, and I'm sure you got a big following where you at. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay tuned. You heard me. An Hour with the Elders is next. Is at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And my girl Faith coming in. We're gonna have a Swahili lesson. If y'all tuned in last week, y'all know I speak Swahili fluently. You know what I'm saying? From 1 week. So, you know what I'm saying, tune in to see all the words that I learned, you know what I'm saying. But until then, y'all already know what it is. It's P.NUT the General, to know the podcast. You keep your body clean, huh? Yeah. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
Thank you.
From us damn street niggas, we ain't really comfortable with all the attention. I know what you're trying to say.
Do what you do, baby.
Yeah, I want congrats. I seen to come up through the mud. You feel me?
Real.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I used to be top. I'm one of the ones. When that nigga said he had a phone, his whole joke, and I'm looking at the screen like preach. Cause I was on the phone with him, you feel me? So you know what I'm saying?